Hey, what's up guys? So today I wanted to go ahead and bring to your attention Torchlight 2 is free right now over on Epic Games for a short amount of time. This is not a sponsored video, but it's just something I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys, as Torchlight 2 is a very awesome action RPG, and I know a lot of you guys maybe follow me for, let's say, Diablo or Torchlight 3. You maybe not have actually checked out Torchlight 2, and Torchlight 2 is a very awesome game. Now, it's only free for a short amount of time, so make sure you guys go ahead and download it now, depending on when you're watching this video. It might not be available, and depending on maybe where you live as well. But anyways, I want to go and share that Torchlight in 2020, Torchlight 2 that is, still actually has a very large player base, which is actually kind of surprising to me. I wasn't expecting that. Heck, Diablo 2 is still living, which is awesome as well. But it actually has a lot of really cool mechanics that are similar to other Diablo games and other action RPGs, and I want to go ahead and kind of give an introduction and talk a little bit about Torchlight 2 in 2020. The game is actually a lot more enjoyable with mods, but let's go and check out vanilla. We'll dip into the mods and I'll give you guys a brief little introduction to the game. So I'm going to go ahead and hit load, which you can create a character on your own. But one thing that is really cool is you're able to go ahead and select internet. You can play on LAN, which was really awesome. Back in the day when people actually used to have LAN parties, one of my friends just loaded it up on all the computers at a LAN party, threw a bunch of mods on it, and it was actually really fun. But one thing I want to go ahead and show you guys is that there are still multiple pages of people playing Torchlight 2 online, and you can also play technically with mods online. It's a little more complex, but for the most part it's really easy. Just go ahead and throw them in the folder, make sure everyone has the same mods, especially for playing on LAN. But you can see all of these different names of the games. It reminds me of Diablo 2, where you would host these games. In the description you would try to say, we're doing this, but yeah, really cool to see that there is still a live community over on this game. But anyways, let's go and hop right into it, and I'll show you guys kind of the ins and outs of Torchlight 2 and some of the more interesting mechanics comparing it to other action RPGs. So first off, in terms of the game, yes, it's an action RPG. You can move around. You'll have different skills to go ahead and mess around with. This is a newer character, so I don't have that many things to mess around with. But one thing that is quite cool is it does happen to have the stats from, let's say, Diablo 1 or 2, which is something that I think a lot of games in the future, they've just kind of removed this mechanic because it might be too confusing for some of the maybe more casual audiences. But I like the system that they implemented in Torchlight 2. So first off, I'm going to move my camera out of the way. So one mechanic that I think was kind of cool that they introduced was requirements for certain stat points, or an alternate requirement. So you can see this weapon over here, the Grell's Missing Sidearm. Towards the bottom in the white text it says requires level 13 or 44 dexterity. So this is something that's kind of cool. You can see that I'm only level 8, but I have enough dexterity to use this a little bit earlier. So depending on what you want to do, you might be able to use some of the items earlier than what was maybe kind of the threshold that would be, given the amount of damage that it deals, and you can use things earlier. I think it's kind of cool. There's also sockets in weapons, which, if you want to think of it kind of like enchantment slots in Torchlight 3, I'll mention some of the things that are in Torchlight 3, because I know a lot of you guys might have followed me for Torchlight 3, and I've always mentioned Torchlight 2 I can highly recommend checking out as well, because sometimes with Torchlight 3 the servers are having issues, as it is an early access game. But definitely hopping back on Torchlight 2 was an awesome experience. I actually really like how you have of course your rings and stuff, whereas Torchlight 3 they kind of moved on to the pets. But anyways, you have these kind of like enchantments, so you can see if you put it in an armor or a trinket, it'll give you one certain thing, or if you put it in a weapon, it's kind of like gems in Diablo 2. They also have this spells inventory, which is kind of like Diablo 1, where you would pick up, like, let's say, a spell book, and you would just learn it on your spells over here. But you can see I can go ahead and learn this one, and I can now summon a imp. I'll go ahead and just learn this skill, and you can see that I can make it so it is available. And I think it's a really cool mechanic that you had these skills that were kind of neutral, as in like anyone can get them, versus, let's say, your character class over here, where we have 3 different skill trees, which is awesome, because in Torchlight 3 you only get 2 skill trees and you only get 7 skills. You get 10 skills on each skill tree, so it's 30 skills as opposed to 14. Now, similar to Torchlight 3, it does have those tier bonuses, and you'll see if you put more into the stat points, you start basically getting more towards the next tier bonus. So it's kind of like Torchlight 3 in that sense, but you can see it just basically will give you extra flat stats to whatever you're putting the points into, like just giving you more damage at the end of the day, or it'll increase the effectiveness. But once you put enough points into it, the rapid fire, which is, let's say, this skill over here, it'll go ahead and, let's say, errant shots are added every other shot, and then there's also extending the range of it, and then the targets are ignited for 4 seconds. So there is some modifiers to some of the skills once you reach those thresholds. But on the bottom over here, what's kind of cool too is there's just these passives, and it's usually just plus flat damage, or this one gives me extra range plus damage, or some of these will give me dodge mastery. There's poison burst, which there's a lot of mechanics again similar to Torchlight 3 that were implemented in here. And this is just the vanilla. We haven't even scratched the surface of what you can do with some of the mods. We're talking completely changing the game, and I think it is really cool. I'll just go ahead and eliminate some of the enemies here so you guys can get an idea of what the gameplay kind of looks like in case maybe you haven't played any Torchlight at all. What's really awesome is you can keybind your left click to something completely different, which I actually really like to do because it saves my finger from, well, also lets me play the game one-handed. Another thing is the mini-map. Check out this mini-map. This is something that I really wish Torchlight 3 would do, where you can like move the mini-map. You can only move it in so many areas. It's not like Diablo 1 or 2 where you can use the arrow keys and just completely move it. But like you can move it in completely other areas of the screen, but not like full control, if that makes any sense. But yeah, this game is awesome. It's a looter. It's something I can highly recommend. But I want to go ahead and touch upon the mods for this game now, because that's something that can drastically improve your experience and how fun the game is. I don't want to make this game or this video a video where we go ahead and have it as a tutorial on which mods to go ahead and install, but I'll show you some of the ones that I have used. And if you've used the Steam mod page, you can use it in here as well if you've already downloaded them. Not that it really makes any difference, because if you already own it on Steam, you've probably already played this game, but it's more so for people that haven't maybe experienced Torchlight 2 and wanted to go ahead and give this game a little bit of a spotlight, as it's a free game and I can definitely recommend it. So I'm going to go ahead and save and quit to show you guys some of the classes that are available at the vanilla version of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and select new game. I'll move my cam over here. So you can see that there is a Embermage. You can select male or female. There's a few different options for customization. It's really anemic. Like, they really need to add a lot more, but it doesn't really matter because they have mods. This is something I mentioned with Torchlight 3. A lot of people felt like there wasn't enough options in the character customization department, and while I want to say it would be nice to have a lot more, I really don't mind as long as they support mods, and because they have offline, there's a higher potential for the ease of mods to exist in the game. But once you go and create your character, you'll be able to see completely different skill trees. But I like the idea that this game has skills that anyone can get. Again, those more like Diablo 1. But anyways, let me go ahead and just go back here. I'm going to go ahead and close the game here. Now, I want to show you guys the mods that do exist in the game. So once you go ahead and have the game installed, you can download the games via, or the mods via the Steam Workshop and kind of import them, but it's probably just much easier to go ahead and just look up a YouTube tutorial on this. But I'm going to go ahead and reopen up the game, and once you open up the game, you will see two different options, and this is why I want to go ahead and show this off here, because it's quite important. So we'll go ahead and click on Torchlight 2. It's going to go ahead and sync the data. And you'll see that there's two different options. There is a play button, and then there's a play plus the little like cog wheel with a little wrench, and it's to manage and mod and play Torchlight 2 with mods. So once you go ahead and install them into the Torchlight folder for your mods, it could be a little bit different for some of you guys, the exact location, but just Google it. It's pretty simple to get these mods up and running, but you can select a bunch of these different mods. Some of them, they will need to be in a certain order. Otherwise, they have some problems. Just install them one at a time and start installing a bunch of them if things are working properly first, because some mods, just as a heads up, will conflict with other mods. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how cool this game is with mods. You get a lot more options. There's so many things that people have done. The whole game's look completely can change as well. And I think that that is something that I really wish that we had in Diablo 3 mod support. I mean, heck, if you guys have seen some of the mods for Diablo 2 even, they're absolutely amazing. They really bring a lot more life into the game. But anyways, let's go ahead and make a new game, as this one's on my the epic version, so I don't have any of my classes and stuff. But you can see the Tyrael pet. This is something that I just really love when games support mods. Like Skyrim's still getting mods to this day. So you can see that we have the Embermage, which we already had before. Some of the icons are a little bit messed up, but that's because too many mods causes some problems, which I probably have some problems in this because I haven't like fully tested everything out. But we have the Archer, we have the Berserker, we have the Assassin, and you'll see that there are a lot more different faces that you'll be able to select. There's a lot more different hairstyles, there's a lot more hair colors, which it just adds a little bit more uniqueness to the game. But I want to go ahead and show you some of the classes that we have with some of these mods, because sometimes just seeing some awesome character can make you really want to go ahead and select certain things. Now, just as a heads up, some of them will have the same skins, and they'll have like the same, like, I guess, character weapon in the very beginning, but when you go ahead and hop into the game, the skill tree is completely different. So that's really where the content is. But I just want to go ahead and give you guys kind of an idea of what can be in the game. You can see they are wielding a pistol and a melee weapon over here, and you can see the Druidess. This is awesome, and this is why I have so much hope for Torchlight 3. In its current state, I feel like the game is super casual, but with the addition of mods later down the line, we could see a lot more cool things to emerge out of the game. We even have this other variant of the Engineer. We have the Kensei, the Mongol Archer. Again, these are completely different classes than, let's say, the regular Archer. We also have the Monk that reminds me of Diablo 3. In fact, there's a lot of skills that were straight up just taken. I mean, again, these are fan mods, so they're just literally using some of the same skills. We have the Ninja, we have the Preacher, we have the Scion, we have the Prophetess. Wait, I'm curious, can you be a male prophetess? Oh, you can. Oh, it's cool. It changes the little icon. I didn't actually know about that either. So we have Outlander. We have the Paladin. I'm guessing this is more like a Warcraft Paladin, perhaps. Again, they're mixing in things from other games, which I'm totally all about. We have the Monster Hunter and the Dragon Priestess. All right, let's go ahead and select something that's completely different over here. I'm going to go ahead and select the Mongol Archer. Let's just go ahead and check it out. And what's also really cool in this, with the mods, look at these pets. If you guys have played The Legend of Zelda, Navi's here. We have the Baneling from StarCraft. Again, I look at the animation. That looks so good. That looks like it's meant to be in the game. We have the Avatar. But I won't go through all of these ones because I have pages and pages of these. But some of them you'll notice them from, let's say, other games. Oh, there we go. Big Bad Voodoo, that's from Diablo 3. If you've played Portal, hey, there is the companion cube. I'm sure it changes its colors. Or I'm wondering how this works. It doesn't just float in the air. But again, you can see that there are some really cool different pets. There's a little slime over there. Oh, we got the head crab from Half-Life. Again, oh, there's Tyrael. Mini Tyrael. Let's go with the Mini Tyrael. I'll scroll through these. What's that one over there? Teddy Bear? Again, I just downloaded like as many mods as I could and just slammed them all in. It can cause problems, so just as a heads up. So my suggestion, if you are using the mods, apply one at a time. Usually the first one's always good, but don't apply all of them at once expecting things to work, because again, sometimes it just happens, man. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll just go ahead and roll in. I'm just gonna go ahead and select casual. We'll go, and you can play online with mods. You can see it says the Far East expansion, which is probably some unofficial name for it. I won't go ahead and watch this, but you'll see that unlike the Archer, and we're still starting out in the same zone, I'm not sure if I have any filters. There are filters that will change the way that the game looks, just as a heads up as well. But you'll see over here that the skills, we're gonna go ahead and hit skills. Oh, this is a really cool mod too. I didn't even notice this. So this mod makes it so my HP will show up as a number over here, because default this doesn't stay up, and it's something that is not available in the options. This is kind of cool. I don't know. I think this is something that's implemented in the mod, because normally it would just bring up this screen. But again, the mods will completely change the game, and I highly recommend you guys to check out the mods. Maybe once you complete the vanilla, or you can see all of the skills. Heck, there's even more than, normally it's 10 skills per tree, but now we have 9 here and then another 3, so that's 12 on every single one. That's, oh my gosh. I'm gonna have so much fun with this game, guys. There's gonna be a lot more Torchlight 2 content coming soon. What's weird is, like, I've always had this. This has always been a thing, but sometimes when a game literally becomes free to play, there's a huge surge of players and a lot more interest becomes available because, well, there's a lot more players that want to check out the game, and for whatever reason, maybe at the time they didn't even think about Torchlight 2, and maybe since they played Torchlight 3, they're maybe more interested in, like, basically the prequels to the game. That always happens too. But like I said, I'm going to be covering a lot more Torchlight 2 very soon. So if you guys are new here and you want to be up to date on some, well, I shouldn't say up to date because I don't think they're really updating this game, but there might be some newer mods that are kind of cool. I'm going to basically play a bunch of Torchlight with mods, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys some of the most fun mods in the future. So I've got a lot of content to create, but again, I'm so excited to go ahead and just create more action RPG content, as the game is a little bit dry right now for action RPGs. There isn't really anything new recently that came out other than Torchlight 3, which we've already completed. And if you guys would like to see like a review or know more about Torchlight 3, I've been covering it. There was technically a newer update, but we've already done it in the PTR. I'll pin it down below if any of you guys want to go and check that out. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed checking out Torchlight 2 and enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you are new here and want to see more Torchlight stuff, subscribe and turn that bell. while, because I'm going to be testing out a lot of these mods, and I'll tell you guys, maybe I'll make a top 10 mods for Torchlight 2 list, as well as some of the more interesting things to go ahead and discover in the game. But anyways, enjoy the free download, guys. Have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm signing out. Peace.